Hello, it is I. Now in the car industry, a lot of manufacturers use parts that are found in other cars. For example, the McLaren F1 has taillights from a bus, the Lamborghini Diablo has Nissan headlights, the Bugatti Sonda has Rover climate control switches, etc, etc. However, these are very well known examples which practically everybody knows about. So maybe you want to learn something new to bamboozle your mind. Well, you've come to the right video. So here are 10 surprising cars which share the same parts, which you probably never knew about. Now before getting into this video, I fell off my chair. I fell tower. My intros make zero sense. 4,000 likes is the target as per usual. Liking the video is free and it helps out so much more than you can imagine. And seeing as over half of you guys watching right now have not subscribed, do consider subscribing to the channel down below. We are on the road to 200k and I love having new faces here on the channel. Thank you very much, and now let's get into the first car, which is the LEVC TX. Now I know a lot of you are probably thinking to yourself, what on earth is an LEVC TX? Well, it stands for London Electric Vehicle Company. And the TX model is their taxi. Yep, this is a new electric black cab that you'd see all over London. Now to buy one of these cars you'd need over £50,000, which is hideously expensive. But it is justified, as it shares a part with quite a premium car, because this black cab has the exact same headlights you'd find on a brand new G-Wagon. Okay, that's a joke. They do look similar, but they are not the same headlights. So what part does this taxi share then? Well, the steering wheel may look familiar to you. Well, that's because it's the exact same one you'd see on the Volvo XC60. On top of that, the gear selector, the media dials, the climate control switches and the infotainment screens, I believe, are also the exact same ones you'd find on the XC60. How weird is that? The reason why this cab has so many Volvo parts is because Volvo and LEVC are owned by Geely, hence they share many parts with each other. So did you know about this? Let me know in the comments down below. The Alfa Romeo TZ3 Stradale. Now if you played Gran Turismo back in the day, then you'd have definitely seen this car before, as this Alfa Romeo is an incredibly beautiful coach built car created by Zagato in 2010. But what a lot of people aren't aware of is what this car is underneath its beautiful body, as this stunning Italian Grand Touring supercar is actually a Dodge Viper. Yep, Zagato based this Alfa Romeo off a Viper. I mean, you can tell this from its huge bonnet, the V10 engine, the side exit exhaust system, and the interior. Yep, they even took the interior from the Viper and gave it an Alfa Romeo badge. The Dodge Viper is notorious for its cheap interior build quality, so giving an Alfa Romeo the plasticky interior of a Viper just seems so sacrilegious, but I guess it is still an incredibly cool car. The Vector W8. The Vector W8 is a crazy looking car. It's a 6-litre V8 twin turbocharged American supercar created in 1989, producing over 600 brake horsepower, which will start like a Lamborghini Countach on steroids. It truly is quite a mental car, but it's not just the exterior that is crazy, as surprisingly it gets even crazier inside, as the interior looks straight out of Knight Rider, with bulky leather seats, futuristic buttons and gizmos everywhere, and this speedometer screen which displays a diagram of the car. This car is from the 80s and it has an interior like this. In fact, the part that this car shares is actually the speedometer screen, as it's the exact same screen found in the Lockheed F117A stealth fighter jet. Yep, this car doesn't share a part with another car, it shares a part with a fighter jet. This car literally has the cockpit from a fighter jet, are you dumb? So if you want to be a fighter pilot but don't have a pilot's license, get yourself a Vector W8, if you can get your hands on one. The Invicta S1. The Invicta S1 is a car that I've literally never heard of. Well, it turns out that they are a British car manufacturer who started making cars in the 1920s, who recently made a car in 2004 called the S1, a 4.6-litre V8 sports car producing over 300 brake horsepowers. And it's a very cool looking car too. But did you know that its taillights come from another car? Well, they do, as the taillights are from a B5.5 Passat, which is very strange to see on a monstrous sports car like the S1. But what's stranger is how it's been utilised on the car, as it sits sideways at a slight angle tilting towards the car, to create this unique shape which somewhat disguises the taillights in a way, whereas other cars which share taillights make no real attempt to disguise them. So you gotta give props to Invicta for disguising the taillights like this. In fact, they actually look really good on this car as well. The Oldsmobile Alero. Here's one for the Americans out there. The Alero was a 4-door compact sedan created by Oldsmobile in 1999, and it is arguably the most dreary looking car ever created. One of the car's biggest complaints is how obscurely large the headlights are. I mean, they almost span across the whole front of the car, they're massive. They look like they belong in a truck, not a small sedan. While the delivery company UPS thought the exact same thing. Hence, with one of their delivery vans, they gave it the headlights from the Alero, which look just as weird as they do on the original car. What were they thinking? The Alfa Alfa Romeo MiTo. Another Alfa in the list, ooh! Anyways, the MiTo is Alfa Romeo's super mini hatchback created in 2008. It featured a small displacement engine with a short wheelbase and a stylish Italian interior. Top Gear made fun of the car for being ugly, but I disagree. I think it's a very cute looking car. From its compact body to its happy expression to its tiny alloy wheels all the way to its cute bunda. Speaking of the back, do these taillights look familiar to you? Well, they should do if you're a fan of Italian sports cars, as the MiTo shares its taillights with another fellow Alfa Romeo, the 4C. Yep, this expensive carbon fiber monocoque sports car has the exact same taillights found on this cheap 900cc engine hatchback. Who would have thought? The MiTo's taillights are also found on another sports car too, from Britain, called the Xenos E10. Yeah, I've never heard of it either. But surprisingly, they do suit the car pretty well. But wait, before we get into the next car, did you know that I have an Instagram? Yep, I do. So if you're not following it, make sure to do so. I'm pretty active on my story. I post every week or so, and I'll do some Q&As on there too. So make sure to follow it. Thank you very much, and now let's get into the next car. The Tesla Model S. Now the Tesla Model S is undoubtedly the most revolutionary car ever. It proves that electric cars don't have to be small, slow, ugly and made of plastic, as the Model S was luxurious, practical, quirky and properly quick, which attracted quite a lot of Tesla fanboys who claim that Tesla are the greatest car manufacturer in the world and no manufacturer could even compete with Tesla. In fact, some Tesla fans claim that Mercedes stole Tesla's interior layout with their new S-Class. But what these Tesla fanboys don't know about is that the Model S actually shares quite a lot of parts with some Mercedes cars. I mean, the steering column, gear selector stalk, indicator stalk and window switches are straight out of a Mercedes C-Class. The front seat controls come from the quirky Mercedes R-Class, and the rain detecting wipers, that comes from a Mercedes too. So if you're a Tesla fanboy who accuses Mercedes of copying Tesla interiors, then hopefully this has taught you something new. The Noble M600. Now the M600 is a supercar hand built by Noble in 2010. And it's a very underappreciated car because it doesn't wear a prestigious badge, despite it being extremely impressive performance-wise. I mean, it's powered by a Yamaha tuned V8 engine producing 650 brake horsepowers, it produces over 800 Nm of torque, it's rear-wheel drive, super lightweight, it's paired to a manual gearbox, it's such a legendary supercar. But the coolest part about it by far is its engine start button. Now usually start-stop buttons on cars are quite boring and not very satisfying to use, but the M600? Well, the M600 start button is the exact same missile launching switch found on a Panavia Tornado fighter jet, which is mental. Now I've spoken about this already in one of my older videos, but it would have been criminal not to include it again because of how cool this feature is. This car literally has a missile launching switch from a fighter jet. That is so cool. The Lamborghini Aventador. Now the Lamborghini Aventador is... come on, it doesn't need an introduction. It's a Lamborghini, the spaghetti pasta car. Yeah, the spaghetti pasta car. Anyways, the Aventador, as you may very well know, is quite an obnoxious car. It's hideously loud, it spits flames on demand, the doors go up, the wing goes up, it has bat wings. It's a very in-your-face car. Now, usually with flashy cars, you have flashy keys. I mean, here's the key from the Bugatti Huayra, here's one from the Koenigsegg Regera, here's one from the Porsche 911, and this is the key from the Lamborghini Aventador. It looks like a very ordinary key, but with a Lamborghini crest. In fact, this is the exact same key you'd find on modern Audi cars. Now, I'm not talking about they look similar, I'm talking about them being the exact same key. You could put the Aventador key into an Audi A5 key, and it genuinely slots into place.
No, not gonna happen. Oh. No way.
How mad is that? So next time you get into an Audi Q5, just remember you're pretty much sitting in a Lamborghini Aventador. And that's the that was scary. That's the end of the video. Really hope you guys did enjoy. If you didn't, then that's a bit sad. If you want to see more videos like this one, then make sure to subscribe to the channel down below. We are trying to hit 200k by the end of this year, so any help would be greatly appreciated. Also leave a comment down below, it helps out a lot with the YouTube algorithm, and I'll try and get to as many of you people as I can. Thank you very much, and I'll catch up with you guys very soon. Until next time, have a good one guys. Stay inside until next time. Cheers.
My dineros, what I'm out to get. Sombrero, I get hat and then I'm out again. Got an A1 Chica with a drive like a 3 litre, that's what she needs D4 like the Alfa.